Where do you want to live when you're older? How do you want your retirement years to be? Planning where to live when you are older really is something to think about throughout your life, although most times we just don't. A lot of this doesn't come up until we're in middle age or we're caring for parents or grandparents, and the physical house becomes a problem. It's too big. There's steps. There's all of these risks there. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, helpful information for caregivers, aging adults. Please press the share button, share this video. On my website, online Eldercare courses, my podcast, The Caring Generation, articles, videos, my podcast, The Caring Generation, a lot of helpful information. So a lot of aging adults and family caregivers have concerns about either where we will live as an older adult or where our parents are living and whether this is a suitable place or not. Most elderly people want to stay in their homes. They never want to leave to go to a nursing home or a care community. If you have parents, they probably tell you this all the time. But to do that, you have to have a plan. So if you're an older person and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to stay in this house forever, but you have multiple levels and there's stairs and there's all this maintenance, you actually have to have a plan for how you're going to stay there, or at least think about it. Because when we age, we're more likely to have poor balance and physical weakness. And if you have had any of your parents that have had a hip fracture or a friend, you know that that is a life-changing event. You either heal quickly because you've been physically active, or the statistics are that a great number of people will pass away in the first year, or you have to move out of your house and go to a care community. So there's a lot of things to think about in addition to the physical house that we live in and this house that is our body. So let me just ask a number of questions to give you a list of what to think about where you want to live when you're older and how you want to live. And these are more related to what I call housing in the house where you live. So where do you live? Do you live in a big city or the suburbs or somewhere rural? And specific to that, how accessible is medical care? Do you see a doctor on a regular basis? If you needed to, would that be easy to do? Can you get there? Is it easy to drive to? Because when we get older, if we have a lot of health issues that I talk about in other videos, sometimes you may be going to the doctor once a week for a few weeks, or every month, or every 3 months. So consider where you live and how easy it is to get medical care, because most of us are going to have health issues when we're older. Next question. And this is a practical one from a financial perspective. So can you easily pay your rent or your mortgage, the maintenance costs, the upkeep of your home? I know a lot of seniors who live in townhomes or condos, and they're paid off, right? They don't have a mortgage. But this HOA fee goes up every year and every year. And sometimes that HOA fee eventually over time, if you live there long enough, 10, 15, 20 years, it can be more than the mortgage that you had when you moved in. So do you know today what the value of your Social Security check will be when you are 65? That's an important thing to know. Are you saving money so that when you're older and you have unexpected expenses that you didn't think you have, you can afford those? Those are very, very important. And so in addition to being able to, pay for where you live and being in proximity to medical care, are you close to people that can help you? Your family, your friends, are you close to shopping places, pharmacies where you can pick up your prescriptions? So a lot of these day-to-day practicalities that you may not be facing today, many of us face or will face when we are older. And so that's another thing to think about, is where do you want to live when you're older? It would be great to be in a place where you have accessibility to all of these things and ease to do that. Many older people will eventually stop driving. So is it a 5-minute, ride to the grocery store? Are there transportation services in your community for seniors? There's a lot to research, not only about where you live, but how you will access services. And so, there's a time where downsizing or moving to a different type of situation is a good idea. The best time to do that really depends on you. And it depends on, are all of your children out of the house? Hopefully. Then do you have stuff that's accumulated in your attic, in your basement, in rooms that you don't use? Well, if you have all this space that you're not using and you have all this expense, it might be easy, right, because you've lived there for a lot of years, but maybe that's the time to look at downsizing and putting yourself in a better situation for what happens when you're 60, 70, 80, or 90, so that you have the support and the systems and everything in place that you need. Also, think about if you needed to have services to come into your home, could you find them? Do you know how to find trusted housekeepers, people to mow your lawn, shovel your snow, maybe in-home caregivers to come in, people to help you with the day-to-day things that you struggle with, maybe somebody just to cook meals for you. Depending on where you live, that may be really easy to find. If you live somewhere remote, maybe a little harder to find those types of services. So while the thought of where you want to live when older may not be something that you want to consider today because you're young, it may be something to think about if you're caring for aging parents or grandma or grandpa. And to start thinking about everything that's involved so that you can create a plan so that when you do age, you have a choice about where you live and how you get your care, and you can remain as independent as possible. I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Thank you so much for being here with this video. Again, please press the share button, share my website, PamelaDWilson.com, with others you know who are looking for hope, help, and support. Have a fabulous day today. I'll see you all again soon in another video.